The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Post came out with their all-time New York Jets Mount Rushmore. Who should be on Mount Jetsmore and who got snubbed? We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, here on a Monday, another week, another show. Thank you to all the real Jet fans tuned in each and every day. Quick public service announcement. If you're a baseball fan, a Yankees fan, and you want to join us this Sunday for the Asmaniac group outing in the Bronx, that is Sunday, that is June 29th. We have a couple tickets left. First come, first serve. They cost $125 each. We have a pregame meetup at Billy's Sports Bar across the street from the stadium. And then we'll head over to the seats in section 223. Great seats. Going to be a great time. So if you want to join us, if you're now available, maybe you weren't when we did the initial RSVPing for people who wanted to come, please reach out immediately. And we got a couple tickets left. You can email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. With that said, let's talk about something a little different today, right? We're in that slower portion of the calendar, so we need to come up with interesting things to talk about until the Jets get set for training camp at the end of July. So the New York Post has been running a series with all the New York teams, and the Jets Day was today, where they break down the Mount Rushmore for that specific team. So they've done the Knicks. I've seen the Mets version, and today I saw that the Jets version came out, and this was the graphic they used in the story. So without spoiling it, you can't do a Jets all-time Mount Rushmore without having Broadway Joe on it. So that is the only name that anyone with a brain understands definitely has to be on the Jets all-time Mount Rushmore. Now, the list was put together by the New York Post sports reporters, right? They're football people. So a bunch of different people that work for the company had input. They took the votes, and they ultimately came up with the top four. I will tell you their top four, and then I will give you what I believe should be the top four. And I understand that this is something that not everyone is going to agree on because people are going to have different qualifiers. But when I think of Mount Rushmore, right? Mount Jetsmore, I'm thinking of both all-time great player and then significance with that respective franchise. For instance, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre would not be on the Jets all-time Mount Rushmore. Neither would LaDainian Tomlinson or Ronnie Lott, or so on and so forth. That's not what we're talking about here. So keep that in mind as you come up with your list. And this was the New York Post top four. Broadway Joe Namath, Curtis Martin, Don Maynard, and Joe Klecko. And at first, I'll be honest, when I first saw that this was their list, I can't sit here and say that's a crazy list at all. Joe Namath is a lock. The next three, I think there's a legitimate debate. I think if you have a list that doesn't have Joe Namath on it, your list is already invalid. So let's save that. After that, I go back and forth with this, right? I won't lie. Initially, in my top four, I did not have Don Maynard on there. And then I look back on it and I go, that's ridiculous. You have to have Maynard on there. He made the greatest catch in Jets history in the AFL championship game. 50-plus yards in the wins at Shea Stadium. Jets don't get to the Super Bowl and pull off the greatest upset in NFL history without that catch by Don Maynard, who then on the next play had the game-winning touchdown in the AFL championship game from Namath to beat the Raiders. Maynard has every record. And if you really look at it, he's so far and away in all the Jets receiver records. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think Don Maynard has to be on there. Now, it's a different era. I understand all that. But when you talk about significance, an all-time great player, and the fact that Don Maynard essentially played the vast majority of his career with the New York Jets, I think Maynard has to be on there. So I do agree with the post. I mean, he started his career with the Giants in 1958, did not play in 1959. He played in the Canadian League, and then he was an original New York Titan. He played with the Titans from 1960 until 62. Then, obviously, they became the Jets, and he was with the Jets every year of his career until his last year in pro football in 1973. He played for St. Louis at age 38. I mean, Don Maynard has to be on there. And then, when you really think about it, I had to put Curtis Martin on there. He's one of the greatest running backs of all time. Curtis Martin maybe didn't start his career as a Jet, right? He obviously played for the Patriots. We know about Bill Parcells coming over, bringing Parcells with him, or bringing Curtis with him. But Curtis Martin's a Jet. When you think of the New York Jets, Curtis Martin is one of the guys you think of. Numbers retired, as is Maynard's, as is Broadway Joe's. I have Curtis Martin on my list. Didn't play his entire career with the Jets, but is a Jet. And then the last one, look, Joe Klecko being on here, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. I think when you talk about Joe Klecko, one of the all-time great New York Jets, no doubt. But if you put Klecko on here, where do you put Darrelle Revis? And that's what I struggled with. Because I'm sorry, when I watched Darrelle Revis play football, to me, he's one of the greatest football players I have ever seen. He's one of the most dominant football players I have ever seen, regardless of position. Darrelle Revis, at his best, you can make a case, might be the best corner of all time. Joe Klecko is an all-time great Jet, but he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer like Revis was. I understand Darrelle Revis didn't play his entire career with the Jets, but neither did Curtis Martin. Right? Revis, there's an entire generation of corners that looked up to Revis. Revis Island was a thing. Klecko was great, and he was unfortunately victimized by the fact he played on Jet teams that didn't make it to the Super Bowl. And look, neither did Revis. I get that. But when Revis was playing, you know, the NFL and the ability to watch all these guys, we all saw it. We all saw the other players, and he was that much better than everyone else. And I know Klecko's an all-time great. I understand that. But I have to put Revis over him. Revis was a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's known for being a Jet. I understand that he won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. I understand that he played for the Bucs. I get all that. That wasn't my choice, though. He wanted to be a Jet. They traded him. That was a bad decision by John Izek. Let's not forget that. And then Revis came back to the Jets. Oh, by the way, he's a Jet. I have to have Revis on my list. Right? I fought for a spot for Klecko. My original list was Namath, Martin, Klecko, Revis, but you have to have Maynard on there. Anyone that watched Maynard, anyone that understands the significance of what him and Namath had back in the 60s and the AFL championship game and that drive, the 53-yard catch in the wind, the touchdown in that game. Maynard has to be there. He's got every record. Go look at the Jets receiving records. They're not even close. It's Maynard than everyone else. Now, maybe Garrett Wilson stays a Jet his whole career. We'll have a different conversation someday. But I narrowly went Revis over Klecko. So my official list here, and look, people are going to disagree. I get it. Is Namath, Curtis Martin, Don Maynard, Darrelle Revis. I had to put Revis on there. He's the best football player I've ever watched. And you don't appreciate him unless you watched it every play and every game like we did as diehard Jet fans. Like there was not maybe a better defensive player in the league from 2008 to 2011. We can't say that about too many Jets ever. When has a Jet ever been that dominant? That's why I had to find a spot for Revis. It's hard because you're leaving off a Hall of Famer now in Klecko. But it took Klecko time to get to the Hall. Not his fault necessarily, but Revis, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. That is so hard to do in football. They only let 5 new guys go in every year. It's not like baseball where there's no limit. Had to put Revis in there. And if it's about stats, because I see Philly Noodle says, who had a better career statistics, Revis or Klecko? It's Revis, right? Who made more All-Pros? Who made more Pro Bowls? And this is not to knock Joe Klecko. I love Joe Klecko. He's a friend of the show, as, by the way, is Darrell Rivas. But no one's talking about Joe Klecko being one of the best defensive ends or defensive tackles of all time. We had that conversation with Rivas. He's in the Deion Sanders conversation. Rivas is a 7-time Pro Bowler. Klecko's a 4-time Pro Bowler. Rivas is a 4-time All-Pro. Klecko is a 2-time All-Pro. Now, Klecko has a Defensive Player of the Year award in 81. Rivas, I think, got robbed in 09. Rivas is on the all 2010s decade team. I mean, look, you want to put Klecko on there over Rivas because you want to say that, okay, Klecko, he played for the Jets for 11 years, and Rivas in total played for the Jets for 8, and that's your deciding factor. Okay, Rivas, he won a Super Bowl elsewhere, but if you just judge it on their Jet careers, I had to narrowly put Darrell Rivas over Joe Klecko on my list, and I really don't think the first 3 you could find a way to not have, obviously, Namath, and then really after that, you're not going to have Curtis Martin on your list. You have to have Maynard on there. If you guys go back and look at the numbers, you got to tell me how you would not have Don Maynard on there. I just don't see it. So, look, this list will obviously cause controversy. That's what the Post wants. But I'm curious where the vast majority of the audience is at. I think the only swap I'd make here is I'd put Rivas in over Klecko and keep the first 3. That's what I would do. But it's up for debate, and I certainly want you guys to write in your thoughts. In honor of doing a conversation, a show here, a monologue about all-time great Jets, let's do a giveaway at the end of the show. We did our raffle this morning. We successfully gave away 4 prizes in our weekly raffle. Congratulations to Snowball, Daz, Purple Belt Mike, and Knob on winning the Namath football, Rivas football, Corbett jersey, Mawai jersey, and a Frank P., who won a Keyshawn Johnson jersey as part of a daily raffle. Now, this guy is not on the Mount Rushmore of Jets, but he is in the Jet Ring of Honor. How about another signed Wayne Corbett jersey I'll give away at the end of the show? So gift a membership to be eligible. The first person to gift 5 memberships will double it. So you'll be in our raffle at the end of the show for 10. Shout out to OG Jet Fan who gifted a membership. He's in for 1. Patriots 12. Yuck. Gifting a membership. He's in for 1 as well. Let's hope to God he doesn't win because that would be absolutely disgusting. Darth Crypto with a super chat. Namath, Martin, Rivas are locks. I get it. If you're doing a list and you want to say Rivas is a lock, I understand it. The only reason why Rivas wasn't a lock for me is because it's hard to ignore Joe Klecko's career. He played 3 years longer for the Jets than Rivas did, and he's also in the Hall of Fame. But Rivas, to me, was a better football player than Joe Klecko. That's not arguable. Darrell Rivas is one of the best corners of all time. Klecko is not one of the best defensive linemen of all time. He's an all-time great. He's in the Hall of Fame, but there's levels to it. In baseball, there's the term an inner circle Hall of Famer. Rivas is in that conversation. Dylan with an Asmaniac super chat. Namath, Maynard, Rivas, Klecko has to be it. Love Curtis Martin, but it's hard when Rivas and Klecko were so dominant. All deserved, though. This is interesting. So you don't have Curtis Martin in. But how do you not have Curtis Martin in? He had 1,000 yards rushing every year he was a Jet. He was the catalyst to so many of these Jet teams that went to the playoffs. I mean, they went to the playoffs with Curtis Martin in 98, 2001, 2002, 2004. That's tough to leave Curtis Martin out of there. You could do it. But, I mean, look at the numbers for Curtis Martin. All-timer. Eli Betts is the first to gift 5 memberships. Eli, you are in our Wayne Corbett raffle for 10. We'll double it. Appreciate your support, Eli. Gift away if you want a chance to win.
We are mama way.
Thank you to Eli. If you hear your name called, you are in the Asmaniac raffle. Or excuse me, you are a channel member and Eli is in the raffle. Italian Stallion, Pat Rich, Justin79, Extinguish the Guilt, and Bobbleneck all receiving channel memberships. Let me also say this while we're talking about giveaways here. The top 3 prizes in our upcoming raffle, it's our 30th raffle since December 1st, a signed Aaron Glenn throwback Jets jersey, a signed Justin Fields Jets jersey, and a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. So those are the top 3 prizes. If you don't win a daily raffle, you still have a chance to win a weekly raffle prize, as all gifted memberships go towards that. Open phone lines. If you want in, you earn a raffle ticket when you call into the show. So keep that in mind. Another initiative to try and get people to be a part of the show during these slow times. Let's check in with a heated, at least he was earlier, Charleston Jets Rube.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets Rube, 'cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt. And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
Hey, bud. So I'm entering the pool to cool myself off from earlier.
Hey, that's an extra raffle ticket right there. Pool calls worth +2 this summer.
All right. So my only point earlier was I thought Aaron Rodgers audibled out of the runs too much last year. That's all I was trying to say. But sparked quite the little debate in the chat after that. So, but I just want to say, I've lived in New York before, but I was in upstate, so I was around a bunch of Bills fans. Everywhere I live, there's not really been a whole lot of Jets fans. So I absolutely love this community that you've created to where we can tune in and talk about the Jets. And even if we disagree, you know what? We're all here for the same reason. We all are freaking diehard Jet fans, and we want more than anything in the world to have our team win. And when Testaverde got hurt, that's right up there with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, those are probably the 2 most disappointing, and I think probably Aaron Rodgers was even more disappointing just because we had been bad for so long. But as far as your Mount Rushmore, I think I have to agree with you. I was thinking Klecko without Maynard, but I did a little schooling on myself, and he's so far above him beyond like Wesley Walker with his numbers.
Look at the numbers. Like, it's not even close.
I mean, it's over 3,000 more yards. He's 4,000 more above Corbett and 5,000 more above Toon. Now, what I will say, I think in my lifetime, my 2 favorite players that I loved, and it might just be because I was younger and it really shaped my Jets fandom, was Al Toon. You got to think about, he had 9 concussions that they know about. And there was no concussion protocol back in the day, so who knows how many he really had. How many games did he miss? He played 8 years, and he had 6,600 yards. My guess is with 9 concussions, he missed at least a season and a half. So, I mean, I loved Al Toon, and another player that is on my Hall of Very Good, the ones that I love, is Mark Gastineau. But before you made your case, and I did a little research, it was Klecko instead of Maynard, but I think I do have to agree with you. And obviously, Martin and Rivas are there before Klecko, before anybody else. But another player that I have a whole lot of respect for that I think is great is DeBrick, man. I love that. I love that guy. I really did. I love that guy.
I love DeBrickashaw. It's impossible for him to make the Mount Rushmore Jets because he's not going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I'm cutting up, but he would be a top 8 or 10. I'm cutting up. I'm going to let you go, man. Love you.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets Rube, 'cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt. And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
See, what hurts the Brickashaw is Winston Hill's in the Hall of Fame, and he was the left tackle for the Super Bowl III team. So, look, it's a hard list to make. It really is. I mean, if you told me you have Klecko in over Curtis Martin and you're keeping Rivas, I get it. I'm looking at Curtis Martin's numbers, man. I mean, played 8 years with the Jets. His first 3 were with New England. Made the Pro Bowl a bunch. I mean, he was first team AP, All Pro in 2004. Led the NFL in rushing that year with 1,700 rushing yards. I think Curtis is on there, man. He represented that era of Jets football to me. Like, it wasn't just Pennington. Before that, it was Vinny. Like, Curtis Martin was the one constant through even Bill Parcells leaving. So, it's an interesting conversation. That's why we're doing it on June 23rd, because it's officially Mount Rushmore season. Philly Noodles checks in with a super chat here. Thank you, Philly. Rivas, arguably second greatest Jet legend. Joe Namath, number 1. Rivas, I think, has to be on the Jets Mount Rushmore. He's in the conversation with the best ever at his position. You have to be on the Mount Rushmore then. You have to be. People maybe didn't like him going to New England. I know I hated it. But if you look at what he did with the Jets, I think he's on the Mount Rushmore. The Mount Jetsmore. Tommy is next on the show. What's up, Tommy?
Jake, what's up, my brother?
Tommy, what's going on?
What's going on? All right, I got a couple points I got written down. First of all, fuck the Pacers. I'm so happy that they lost. And sorry, Indy Jets. Oh, well, that's what happens. Take it to game 7 and lose. Like, fuck you and fuck the Pacers. You took our Knicks out, and that's about that. Patriots fan needs to just get the fuck out of here because I don't know what he's trying to do.
Language, Tommy. It's a family show.
I'm sorry. My bad.
You get the fuck out.
Come on, man. What are we doing here? We'll come back to you when you cool off. Speaking of cooling off, I know where we're going next. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline.
When he's home, his bell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his bell is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, super Jets. Where the big fella sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Where's the big fella?
Hey, what's up?
Mr. Big Fella, how's the pool?
It's great, man. It's really hot as shit today, but it's great. Yeah. I got a question. Why does Joe Namath have to be on it?
Because he's the most famous Jet of all time, and he won a Super Bowl and was Super Bowl MVP. He's in the Hall of Fame.
I get that. I understand, but
That can't be a serious question.
well, it's not really a serious question, but it's. I mean, stats wise. You know,
Different era, man. Interceptions weren't a big deal. The rules were. Imagine Joe Namath played in today's era, where first off he'd be a mobile quarterback, and because he actually would be able to have proper knee surgery in today's day and age.
No, it's not really a serious question, but it's like he didn't throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl, So I don't know.
He called the plays with his mind.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's what happened. Go back.
Yeah. No, I get it.
He changed all the plays.
I'm just stirring the pot a little bit, trying to be like Ted. But, yeah, so my thing is it would be Namath. I would have Curtis Martin. I would have Maynard because he retired as the number 1 receiver in football, I guess, right? Yards-wise.
When Don Maynard retired, he was the all-time receiving yards leader. Yes.
Yeah. That and instead of Klecko, I would have Rivas up there. Because Rivas technically is one of the, if not the best corner that played his position. So I would have to put him there instead of Klecko, unfortunately. Yeah. That's just what I got.
That's fair. I think we have the same list on.
All right, yeah, cool. That's good. So how you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Good, yeah.
I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be courteous. But
are you gonna give us a belly flop? The chat is asking.
Hell no. Hell no. I'll show you the pool though. Hold on a sec. I'll show you. That's it.
That was a phenomenal tour, big fella.
Yeah, you should do a remote from my house, bro.
I would love to. I'll be there right now.
You get the fuck out.
All right, that's the show, folks. I'm headed over to the big fellas. Hit the like button. Nick Shine says, Namath was never the best at his position. His aura is from off the field, not on. Martin, Revis, Klecko, Maynard. I mean, he was the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards ever, Nick. Different era. He's one of the best of his era. You can't do a Mount Rushmore and not have Joe Namath on there. I'm sorry. You can't. Super Bowl III MVP. Go look at what he did in the AFL Championship game against the Raiders to get them to the Super Bowl. It was a different game then. You got to have Broadway Joe on the Mount Rushmore. You have to. He's the most famous Jet of all time. He broke records at the time he played. Call in if you want to debate it or give your own. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what's about to happen here. It's a necessary evil. I'm going to take his call, but you guys know the rules. The bounty is always set at $50. Sound the alarms.
No, I just want to say, like and subscribe.
What?
Like and subscribe.
What are you? I'm very confused. So you just ripped your Dolphin shirt to reveal a Patriot shirt.
Like and subscribe. You work
to what?
hard,
My channel?
and I like your work ethic. Like and subscribe. Keep up the hard work.
I don't understand you. You're calling in here to tell people to like and subscribe to my channel. Why would they listen to you? You're a Patriots fan.
But we're humans at the end of the day.
So rip that Patriot shirt.
Anyways, keep up the hard work.
Oh, you won't rip that one.
It's a sacrifice. Maybe I'll sacrifice another one next
You
time.
should. Sacrifice your Patriot shirt right now.
I'm getting ready for the hole.
No one has sent you to the hole.
Oh, really? I thought I'd be at the hole by now. But really, I like the show. Forget the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets. I like your show a lot. It's fun. And I went, actually, if you can answer my question before the hole, I went to this place. It's called Pre-Stain Auctions. Do you have experience with them? Because I got my dad a birthday gift from it.
Pristine? You mean prestige auctions?
Pristine Auctions. No. Yeah.
Yes, I am familiar with them.
Are they good? Because I got a jersey for about $80 and it's kind of sketchy, you know? That they go for that little.
I mean, they're a memorabilia company. You might have found a good deal. I can't speak to what you're spending on.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to enjoy the show. I had a hot day at work. The hospital has no AC.
Wait a second. You work at a hospital without air conditioning? How is that safe for the patients?
Because if it's cold, right? They might get sick. They might not like the cold.
They might not like the warm. It's hot as hell.
I don't know, man. I don't make the rules. I'll see you guys. Adios.
I hope not.
I'll see you guys next time.
All right, let's hope not. He's gone. Wow. No one sending him to the hole there is a huge upset. I'm shocked. Especially when we have a Wayne Corbett signed jersey I'm doing as a giveaway today. Mike says Weeb Eubank should be on the Jets Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I get it. You can put a coach on there. I think if you keep it to just players, though, it's easier. You could argue Weeb Eubank. Right? Like, can you do a Patriots Mount Rushmore without Bill Belichick? Probably not. But if we're just keeping it to players, because I think that's easier, there you go. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Reminder, this week's raffle prizes. After this morning's raffle, we're on to raffle 30. Signed Sauce jersey, signed Fields jersey, and a signed AG throwback jersey. More calls right now on the Gusbuster hotline. Rob, the Jet fan. Hello, Rob. Rob, are you on mute? I cannot hear you, Rob. Try again. Philly Noodles. What's up, Philly?
Yo, what's going on, bro? Yeah, that's too funny. That guy is so weird, man.
He's an
1000%. Yeah. Bro, it's hot out here. I'm in North Carolina. I had to stop after work. My AC broke in my car on my way home. So that sucked balls. Rivas over everything, man. You can't. It's not even a debate. It's got to be Rivas, or who else would you select? I mean, the guy, he made shutdown corner a real thing, right? He's the reason why.
Yeah.
He's the reason why we're arguing. Does Sauce suck? No, Rivas was that good. Like, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? That you have to put that up to debate. But no, it's Rivas. Klecko, I'm sorry, but that's fine. If he's a runner-up to Rivas, that's something legendary in itself, right? They're both Hall of Famers, so you got to take it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue, hey, have Klecko win over Curtis Martin. I don't know.
About that.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. Curtis Martin to me was a better football player than Joe Klecko was.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, I know Big Fella was messing around, but Broadway Joe, just the style and swag alone probably puts him in that list. It's in itself. He revolutionized football. I don't think people realize that. He revolutionized football.
He's the quarterback of a team that won one of the most important Super Bowls ever.
Ever.
Think about what it did for the AFL. To legitimize it against the NFL. Namath has to be on there. Namath's impact is felt beyond just stats anyway, and the stats need proper context for the era he played in.
Definitely. And before I go, I got to give the update to my coaching status. I'm 0-1. It's fine. We took a brutal loss. I actually pulled a Salah first go at it. The rule book, I thought that I only needed one defender to start from a blitz point, and I needed both of them. So they could have turned over on downs, and then my team folded after that. The kids melted like butter in the hot sun. I had a kid throwing up. It was something else. But I can tell you, man, I had a Giants dad tell me, "Oh, you see why we lost, man? I see your Jets towel hanging on your hip." I said, bro, don't go there. He goes, No, I understand it. I mean, maybe you won't have it next week. I said, no, it'll be there. He goes, you sure? I said, yeah, it'll be there, bro. So now I think I have beef with a dad who's a Giants fan. So let's see how well this goes. I'll have another update. 0-1, though. I got to regroup. Get these kids going strong.
Well, you're about to go on a 2010 like Jets run, Philly Noodles. You lost the first game, highly anticipated. First game, prime time at MetLife. And then you rattled off like 7 or 8 in a row, I believe. More calls right now. Tommy, have you cooled down?
Yes, Jake. How are you, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Okay. Couple questions. On your Mount Rushmore, I feel...
What happened, Tommy? What are you doing to me?
What happened?
Go ahead.
Okay. Your Mount Rushmore, okay? I agree 1,000% about all the people that you have on there. The only thing that I question is Darrelle Revis was the first or second best cornerback to ever play in the NFL. So I don't think Joe Klecko was the best D tackle or D end, or he played 5 different positions. I would put Revis ahead of Klecko just on that fact, because if Prime ain't the best, Darrelle Revis was the best cornerback that you ever saw in your life.
Right.
Shut down cornerback, could tackle, went against the number 1 receiver every single week. You answered this question already. I was going to say, don't you think maybe DeBrickashaw Ferguson could be in the Hall of Fame? But you said no.
He didn't have enough all-pros to ultimately get in when you compare him to other left tackles. He'd be in the Hall of Very Good. Same with Nick Mangold. I don't know if Mangold's ever going to be a Hall of Famer.
And now 2 other things. One thing is linebackers. When you pick Mo Lewis, Marvin Jones, Bart Scott, C.J. Mosley, who is the best linebacker? David Harris. Who is the best linebacker you think of all time was a Jet? I think it's Mo Lewis, and David Harris second.
Mo Lewis should be in the Jets Ring of Honor, in my opinion. Look at his career. It's amazing he's not, if you think about it. He doesn't do a lot of media. I don't think he's like in the spotlight a lot. I think that's maybe had something to do with it. I think Mo Lewis is the best Jets linebacker ever. You can make the case.
Okay, I got that. And then one last thing is just I always root for the Jets, 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 baby. The one thing at Sandy Hook, it's not just all ugly old people that go down there. It's there's the strippers, they go down there and they tan on the nudist beach. So it's not just all old people. I've been there before.
You had a good time?
Yo, it was great. It was great. And you got to go down. You got to go down with a woman, though. You got to go down with a lady, a lovely lady, just so that you don't have the attention, brought on you. But it was a great time. And it's not just old people that go there. There's some young girls that are on Sandy Hook, Gunnison Beach. It's the last exit in Sandy Hook.
Well, Tommy, you have a good time this summer, all right?
You too, Jake.
Calm your freaky down.
Talk about nudist beaches on this show of late. It's gonna be a weird summer around here. Update on raffle entries. Right now, 7 memberships have been added to the show. Eli is in the raffle for 10. And then Tommy, who you just heard from, he gifted one and then just called in. So he's got 2 raffle tickets. And then the other gifted membership was from Patriots 12. So let's make sure he doesn't win, because he actually now has 2 tickets in the raffle with his call. Not what you want, but those are the rules. And we are fair around here. Reminder, we're giving away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey at the end of the show. So it's $5 to gift the membership to get in the raffle if you're interested. More calls right now. Maybe we hear him this time. Rob, are you there?
Hold on. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
We hear you, Rob.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to chime in on that Mount Rushmore, Jake. I would definitely have Joe Namath first. Any guy who won our only Super Bowl ever has to be front row, and he's the guy who predicted it too. So definitely no problem with putting him first. I guess you could probably put Rivas second and then Klecko. But Curtis Martin, like, how many are we having on this Mount Rushmore? Is there a total of 3, 4? How many do you have?
Well, are you familiar with the concept of what Mount Rushmore is?
No. I'm honestly, dude, I'm really not. How many are there?
You've never heard you've never seen or aware what Mount Rushmore is in U.S. history?
Well, yes, with the presidents, with George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
So how many are on there?
There's 3.
No, there's 4.
I mean 4, excuse me.
Right, so this is
4.
the same concept. It's the Mount Rushmore of Jets.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I forgot, Jake. Honestly, I forgot. My bad. So I would put those 4 in. I would put definitely Namath. I would put Revis, Klecko, and Curtis Martin.
So we have the same 4.
Yeah, I tell you, Jake. I mean, back in the day, a lot of people like the Brick, but I was a huge Mangold fan. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he's real good. Real good.
The Brick Show was great. I just don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer if you look at his career.
Now, do you think Mangold would have a
We were having some connection issues at the end there, Ron. I cannot believe you didn't know Mount Rushmore is 4. Is it 3? Is it 4? It's 4. It's Mount Rushmore. Who doesn't know that it's 4 faces on Mount Rushmore all time? All right, Rob's called back in. He's going like this. Yes, Rob?
Hold up. Yes, Jake. I'm sorry. I forgot the amount, but yes, 4. But I mean, I don't know. I think Mangold would be a guy that I would consider. I thought he was the best ever. Well, you can't put him over any of these 4 that we have.
That's the point. That was the whole point of the monologue. You have Namath, you have Maynard. To me, Curtis Martin and Revis. I mean, you can swap out Curtis Martin maybe for Klecko, or you can maybe swap out Revis for Klecko if you want. I don't think you can. I think Revis is too dominant in his era, is considered one of the best corners of all time. We can't say that about some of the other names we're discussing here. So I think.
Would you put Maynard there? You would put him in there or not?
Yeah, I guess you didn't have Maynard in yours, so we don't have the same.
No.
Yeah, Maynard has to be on the Jets Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Look, when he retired, he was number 1 all time in receiving.
No, you're right. So would you put him? You would put him over what, Curtis? Because I came to the show later. Sorry,
Rob. Go back to the monologue. I gave the full Mount Rushmore that I have. It's Joe Namath, Curtis Martin, Don Maynard, Darrelle Revis. The New York Post has their 4 you see on the screen. The only change I have is I have Revis over Klecko. I think Revis has to be in there. Some are saying you could take Martin out and put Revis in and then have that be the 4. I have a hard time taking Curtis Martin out. Tommy has gifted a channel membership. Another opportunity for Tommy to win. OG Jet fan. That membership went to listener 3 siblings. More of your calls right now. A lot of people want in on this debate. To PBM, we go next.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Yeah, Rivas has to be there. The top 30 players that ever lived, he's there, and Klecko's not. I'm not sure if Klecko breaks the 100 greatest players of all time, but without a doubt, Rivas is top 30, top 25 of all time.
I think Rivas has to be on there. The debate then is, do you take out Klecko or do you take out Curtis? Because I think Maynard has to also be on. I think the Jets have 3 locks. I think Namath, Maynard, and Rivas have to be on the Mount Rushmore of Jets. They have to.
The top 3, you got Namath number 1, Rivas number 2, Maynard number 3, and then number 4 is the debate. And I think it's Curtis Martin over Klecko.
It's fair. That's what I have.
It has to be because Rivas, no one has been able to replicate him. That's also like what you have to picture there. He is a unicorn at his position where he would follow a number 1 receiver and shut them down and never give up touchdowns. What did he give up in his career? In the 4-year span, he gave up less than 4 touchdowns, wasn't it? Some crazy thing like that?
Yeah, I mean, there was no one more dominant at his position, I think, ever than Rivas. You could say Prime had a better career because he was maybe elite longer, and when Rivas fell off, it fell off fast. He never wanted to move to safety to prolong his career. But from 2008 to 2011, I don't think any corner has ever played the cornerback position at a higher level than Darrelle Revis did.
Without a doubt. The 4 years of Rivas. And he got robbed. Charles Woodson won. I don't even know how Charles Woodson won Defensive Player of the Year. I'll never get over that. I was so pissed when I found that out.
Yeah, Rivas to me got robbed in 2009.
Yeah, he got robbed. He should have a depoy on his record also because that was crazy. But yeah, and then the other thing is, you're giving raffle entries for calls, right?
Correct.
All right. So I won the Curtis Martin. Wayne Corbett jersey. I want to gift my membership. Can I do that?
Yes.
My raffle?
To who?
All right.
If it's international though, and they win, you're paying for the shipping.
It's not. I don't know if it's international. I want to give it to Stack because Stack has always, reached out to me in the chat all the time, and he doesn't call in or whatever. So I want to donate my my raffle entry to Stack.
Stack, you are in the raffle for 1, courtesy of Purple Bell Mike. Mike, keep up the great work.
Yeah, man.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legend Bobby Midnight is in the Wayne Corbett raffle for 1. Bobby Midnight spending the big bucks. Bobby, look at you. And Bobby would like to let everyone know that he has a job interview on Wednesday at 2 p.m. at the restaurant called 99 Restaurant. So everyone wish Robert Woodruff well with his big-time interview. More calls right now. Party with Peg and Artie. Artie's next. Hello, Artie.
Hey, Jake. How are you? How are all the Asmaniacs doing today?
Fantastic, Artie. How are you?
That is awesome. What a perfect segment for a June Jets show, Mount Rushmore.
Hey, the phone lines are lit up, so I love it.
But let me ask you something. I know he didn't have the greatest record, but how come nobody's talking about putting Weeb up there?
Someone mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he is the only head coach that won the Super Bowl, right?
Correct. I just think it is one of those things where if you start talking about adding coaches, it's hard. I wanted to keep it to players. You could argue Weeb Eubank. You certainly could. I don't know if I put him in over players, though.
Well, Rivas got to be on there, and Joe Willie's got to be on there. The rest are up for debate. I mean, everybody makes good points for the players that choose. Mo Lewis, great choice. Curtis Martin, Klecko. I really was thinking about it for a long time. I really can't come up with 4 without, thinking about why am I taking this one off and putting this one ahead. It seems like we had a lot of Hall of really good players, but not really Hall of Fame players, through the years.
Well, I really think the debate comes down to like 3 players for one spot, right? I think it's Curtis Martin, Joe Klecko, and probably Maynard, although I really don't think Maynard there should be much of a debate for that. I think he has to be in.
Well, the problem with Maynard is that he's such old time that so many people never even saw him play. We just hear about him. We never seen him. It's so much easier to see. Even like guys like Klecko, Gastineau during that era, Curtis Martin during the Parcells era. I mean, we've seen them play. Someone like Maynard, who was very dominant, kind of gets shuffled back a little bit, I would think.
Yeah, it's tough. But if you just look at his numbers, and when he retired, he was the all-time NFL receiving leader. And this guy made huge catches in the AFL title game and in the Super Bowl. It's like, how do you not – like, he's in the Hall of Fame. Like those who saw him play voted him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, I'm glad to hear Bobby's got a job interview. That's really awesome. I hope Charles gets his job going. The achievers in this room, we just got to have everybody achieve, and that's, be the best thing.
Artie, good call. A pool call is worth 2. Super chats. They cut the line. We got one from Big Fella. He says, Jake, if I win the raffle, can you send it to my brother Stack? Yes. Shout out to Stack. I was messaging with him earlier. We could make that happen, Big Fella. Weed the People writes in, Rob, is it true you were driving the car that hit me on Saturday? Rob from Glenhead, did you hit Weed the People with a car? That is the question that's being asked here. More of your calls right now. Let's get the opinion of a longtime Jet fan. He even played for the New York Jets. It's Clifton time.
Hey, Jake.
Hello, Kyle.
So before we get to Jetmore, I want to assert that I think that Mangold has a better shot of making the Hall of Fame than DeBerkshire does. Just because his accolades compare more favorably with guys that are already in at center. If you go and look at it.
That's a good point.
The other thing that I will say about Rushmore is this. I think it's 5 guys for 4 spots. I think that Namath is the no-brainer, right? I don't think it's between Rivas and Klecko for the last spot. I think Rivas is the second spot in. And then I think Martin is the third spot in because when he retired, what was he, 4th or 5th on the all-time list?
That sounds right.
So those 3 guys are in. to me, it's between Maynard and Klecko. And I think I might have a little bit of a generational bias here. I did not see Maynard, right? I understand that he was a guy that, was leading receiver at the time he retired and all that. But as you said, it was a different game. I think that there has never been an NFL player that has been more underestimated than Joe Klecko. Joe Klecko impacted games at 3 different positions. I think he was an all-pro at 3 different positions on the line. And he was a pain in the ass to the teams that were trying to block him. He made those other 3 guys. It's not the other way around. Lyons and Salam and Gastineau. Gastineau was a talented pass rusher, but, he was hunting for sacks, as someone has said recently in the last few years. Joe Klecko was the best player on that early 80s, mid 80s Jets team that, made a couple of playoff teams, and he elevated that defense to what it was, that stock exchange defense. He was the best player on that team. He's the guy who goes in as the 4th guy to me.
It's fair. I can't argue with that. It really comes down to just opinion. You saw Klecko, so I can't dispute any of that. If you told me you put Klecko in over Maynard, I get it. I think it's tough, right? I mean, Don Maynard was a first ballot shoe-in Hall of Famer, retired with the most receiving yards ever. Klecko was great, and it's not all his fault, but he didn't have the same attention and notoriety that Maynard did in his era.
Right. And I didn't see Namath really either, except for highlights, right? But, Klecko's my favorite player ever. And I say that knowing that Revis was better. It's just the position that he played. He's a game wrecker, right? I happen to think that guys in the trenches influence the game a little bit more. And to me, the guy who influenced the game for the early 80s, mid 80s Jets was Joe Klecko.
Yep.
And he's the guy. I appreciate your time, Jay.
Kyle, great call. You still were able to make some incredible points, very salient points, and none of us could even see you the whole time. You're frozen. But we heard you. And that's all that matters. Artie gifting a membership fresh off his pool call. Artie now in our raffle for 3 total entries. Thank you, Artie. Your channel membership was gifted to listener Kyle Smith. Oh, we got another gifted membership. Tommy, your gifted membership. That went to listener Daz Acoustif. And Daz won a prize in our raffle earlier. He won a signed Darrelle Revis football. Rick Kent is in the raffle for 2 with this $10 super chat. All these people saying, well, I never saw Maynard play, is like Yankees fans dismissing Babe Ruth for never having seen him play. Maynard is one of the greatest Jets of all time, period. Look at Rick, I never saw him play, obviously. I have him in my top 4. There are some saying they don't. I mean, to me, Maynard was a lock for me. I tried to find a way to get Klecko and Revis in. I couldn't. I could not have Don Maynard in. I guess you could take Martin out if you want to put Klecko in, but I don't know, man. Curtis Martin, I think, has to be in. It's a hard exercise. I mean, we're really talking about 5 deserving guys for 4 spots. Because in whatever order you have it, it's roughly 5 guys we're talking about. And Namath has to be in there. So you're talking about maybe 5 guys for 3 spots, as I think Clifton just said it on his most recent call, and he's right. All right, more of your calls right now. A lot of you are on the line, so please make the calls quick so we can get to everyone. Papa Jet is next. What's up, Papa?
Jake, how's it going? I got the biggest man crush right now on Kyle Clifton because Klecko's my guy, and you know he is. Went to the Pro Bowl at all 3 positions, and you can make an argument back then. I mean, I don't want to say it was tougher, man, but there's a lot more stuff let go back then, like holding. There was punches, biting, snot flying around. I mean, Klecko has to be on there as far as I'm concerned. So I guess mine would be you got to have Namath. I never saw Maynard play, but I guess I'll agree with you guys. Go with the stats. And for me, Rivas definitely, because that 1 year Rivas played, and I didn't do my homework and get all their names, but there was 1 year where he faced like 8 or 9 studs, wide receivers. And I think that year the highest yardage against him was 48 yards. He dominated. So Rivas is there. So I'm taking Klecko over Martin.
I get it.
Klecko.
And the graphic you're referring to was on the Sunday night football broadcast before the Jets played the Bengals in the playoffs, the Revis Island graphic. This is what you're referring to. I have it here. I just found it online. This is like one of the more iconic football graphics of all time.
Yeah.
Everyone has seen this.
Yeah, and I think the highest yardage was like 48 yards, something like that.
Notable wide receivers held under 35 yards, even less.
Yeah, he just dominated. So I totally agree, but I'll just take Klecko over Martin. And I love Martin. You know, it's just I'm a Klecko guy, you know.
Papa, good call. Totally fair. Big fella. Martin is like 6th all time in rushing. He has to be up there. Yeah. It's not an easy conversation. Like, there's no right answer necessarily. I think the only thing, the only take that I think is crazy is Namath not being there. Like Nick Shines and I guess Big Fella asked, why does Namath have to be there? Namath has to be there. He's Broadway Joe Namath. More calls right now. Addison is next. What's up, Addy?
What up, Jake? Yo, Nick, you're wild. Not having Joe Namath in our Mount Rushmore is like not having Walter Payton in the Bears Mount Rushmore. So you're bugging, bruh. But congrats to Bobby on the job interview. He's got 99 problems, but hopefully the job ain't one. I got the same 4 as you, Jake. I actually emailed you a picture, so if you want to pop that up, go for it. But hopefully we can make room for one more name. This guy right here.
Oh, Field.
Let's go.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope Justin Fields plays so great that he knocks Joe Namath off the Mount Rushmore. Now, wouldn't that be
pretty
something?
Pretty damn much. But I know you got to make it quick. But next time you talk to Rob, ask him if he knows how many people are in the Jackson 5. And you know, just damn, leaving you with I've been busy. You know, I work during the day. I try to call in pop into the chat when I can. I know Aaron Glenn's been getting a lot of backlash for how he treats the media, and not a lot of people like you have maybe 2 perspectives on what that's like, because you have Jake Asman, the Jet fan, and Jake Asman, the ESPN guy. So how does, if it differentiates at all, how do both sides of you feel about that?
Yeah, I just think it's the same thing, right? When I gave my opinion on it, like, I think Aaron Glenn is not putting on an act. I think he's been authentic with his interactions, and I think if he's combative after every loss, it becomes a problem. But I don't think it's going to be like that. So I'm not really concerned about it. I think just be yourself. That's the biggest thing you can do, and I think he's done that. So no issues with me with Glenn.
Let's go. I'm bricked up for Fields. Let's go, Jake.
Addison, love it. Now I did show your ChatGPT created Mount Jetsmore during that call. You have Weeb Eubank being all like Chubbs Peterson and Happy Gilmore in the background here. For those who didn't see it, here it is on the screen again. He's got Namath. I think that's Maynard, Rivas, and who's the last one? Namath, Maynard, Martin, and Rivas. That looks nothing like Curtis Martin, but that's apparently Curtis Martin. And then Weeb Eubank is up in the clouds. There was a great question that was asked. Matthew Smith says, does Rob know how many people are in the Fantastic Four? Oh, Rob's never going to hear the end of that one. You could just tell. More calls. Can we rapid fire through a lot? Wow. A pool call from Ted in Tampa. Hello, Ted.
Jake, how are you?
Hello, Ted.
A lot of people are coming up with possible first alternatives, and I'll make the case for Mark Gastineau. He had the NFL lead with 22 sacks in a season for a while. He had 74 recorded sacks before sacks, I guess, were recorded a certain way, and he had 107 and a half unrecorded sacks. So he's probably in the top 50 sack leaders in the NFL. Plus, he's, you know, doesn't have a great reputation personally, I guess, with his Bridget Nielsen stuff and I guess his craziness, but he was a beast of a player. I mean, you know, Klecko helped him and he helped Klecko. That's the way I look at it. But let me say this, Jake. We need to come up with an Asmaniac Mount Rushmore. That should be the next contest. If you
Good
can
luck.
come up.
Well, did
Really?
we kind of do that with the tournament? I mean, the initial top four, right?
Yeah, but that was, I don't know. I mean, a true Asmaniac. I don't think Charles is a true.
We can't say that the final four represents the Mount Rushmore for at least the first of its kind. That would be Neil, Kinlowski, Mr. Bonesy, and Gary.
I guess. I just thought the number.
Let me ask you, who would be your Mount Rushmore of Asmaniacs then?
Bonesy, Lowski. I mean, like I looked at the number 1 seeds, and I'm like, they shouldn't have been 1 seeds. That's the way I'm looking at it. The other top 2, debatable. You put me on the spot. I wouldn't put Neil up there. Neil's got too many boneheaded takes with the Rodgers love and everything. So I don't know. Too many. What, you know, he says 100 things and one of them could be right. So that's how he spreads it out too thin.
He's a volume shooter.
The other 2 I'll come back to. What's that?
He's a volume shooter.
Yeah, exactly. The other 2, I don't know, but you're probably right. But I mean, I just had an issue with the 1 seeds. I mean, I would almost put, you know, Boom could be a 1. Boom can be in the Mount Rushmore.
But he hasn't called
Boomtown. Oh, but still, it could be a Mount Rushmore of a Asmaniac without calling in.
Well, then Gator should be on the Mount Rushmore. Then it depends how you got to you got to quantify how you're going about it. Is it people that impact the show, or is it people that call into the show?
That's true. Yeah, then you could put Gator there. I would definitely consider that one.
Look, I'll tell you what I could do for you, Ted. I can't give you a Mount Rushmore of Asmaniacs off the top of my head because that's too confusing, but I can do this for you, so stay tuned.
You get the fuck out.
Here's what I'm going to do for our guy, Ted. This is the Mount Unemployment Rushmore of Asmaniacs. Bobby Midnight, Charles Gorman, Beastbreaker, and Cheats Fan. Now, Cheats Fan might have a job right now, but we know it won't last. All right? He changes jobs more than the Yankees changed managers with George Steinbrenner in the 80s. So if I can't give you the Asmaniac Mount Rushmore. That's too hard. We had a tournament that gave us the Final Four. So to me, I'm standing by the voters. Bonesy, Lowski, Neil, and Gary. That'd be the inaugural Mount Rushmore. But the Mount Unemployment, it's got to be Bobby Midnight, Gorman, Cheats Fan, and Beast. Now, Beastbreaker, I'm sure, wants to respond. Those of you saying that he doesn't work, Beast will tell you he does work. So let's give him a chance to respond to the initial Mount Unemployment.
Before we start that, my top 4 for Mount Rushmore for the Jets, Joe Namath is number 1 because he was like the Mickey Mantle of New York. And you know why? Girls loved Joe Namath. You know why? He had class. He had style. He was spunk. And he knew what he was doing. For number 2, the number 2 choice, I'm going to go with this one. This is going to be a toughie. And I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to go with Aaron Glenn because Aaron Glenn is a man and he doesn't back down from nobody, and especially the media. The media needs to get off his back and leave him alone. He is a Parcells guy. He doesn't take crap from anybody. It's called, hey, leave the man alone and let the man be at peace. For number 3, I'm going to say for number 3, this one is going to be a good one. I'm going with Curtis Martin because that man has speed, he has power and finesse. He knew what he was doing. And last but not least, probably one of my favorite quarterbacks, and I watched him when I was a kid, when I was 13, Vintage Vinny. Vintage Vinny for one reason. The guy had
Vinny Testaverde?
Hey, I watched him. He played for so many of the great teams. Tampa.
But he can't be on
when he came
he
to
can't
New
be
York,
on the Jet Mount Rushmore.
When he came to New York, Parcells landed him the
We love
greatest
Vinny.
dream job
Vinny's
of
a
all
legend.
time.
He's a Jet legend. He's
He
not on the
is a
Mount Rushmore.
legend because why? Look what he could do with that arm. That arm was what made for gold.
He had a great arm. Chad Pennington was a better Jet quarterback than Vinny.
I
If you're gonna play that
understand
game.
that. I understand
You
that.
don't. You just put him on your Mount Rushmore. Let's focus at the task at hand, though, Beast. Do you
please,
push back on the
millennials.
idea that you're on the Mount unemployment because you claim to have a job?
Hey, I do plenty of things. Hey, these bare hands are made for a lot of things. Like example, gardening, construction, tree building. Oh, if you didn't think I could cook, I got my hands for cooking. It's like a heavy combat unit. All you got to do is pay attention, learn and listen, shut up and watch and learn. See, that's why you learn from the great cooks. I've watched them for plenty of years. Guy Fieri, Gordon Ramsay, Jeff Smith, Emeril Lagasse. I will remain watching these guys because these guys are legends. And I don't care what people think because at the end of the day, 99.9% truth comes from here and truth comes from the internet. And that's called Google. Google. Go to Google. Use it wisely, my friends. It's out there.
Spell it again.
Google. Google. Use it wisely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes. Google. You
Now-
have it on your phone. You have you probably have the i15 phone or i16 by now. And
Beast,
and
can you explain to me what tree building consists of? I've never heard of that employment.
I've been a Christmas tree builder for almost 20 years. I'll tell you, I'm a pro at this. Let me just say it. It took me years. Hey, don't laugh at this, my friend. Let me explain it to you. Since I was 22, I knew how to do my own trees. I got it all figured out. It doesn't take this to figure out. It takes guts, brains, heart, and determination, and also a little bit of skill. See, it's like a game. You get the out.
That was such a great Beast call. Yo, let's be fair here. We put someone on the Mount unemployment. We got to give him a chance to respond. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
When's the next Batman movie? Probably around 2027, 2028. Excuse me. As for the Mount Rushmore of Jet players, you have to put Joe Namath up there. I mean, he's the greatest, even though he has more interceptions than touchdowns. He was the first quarterback in pro football history to throw for over 4,000 yards in a season. He helped popularize pro football. He drew crowds. And him leading the Jets to an upset and over the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III changed the AFL and NFL forever. I mean, helped merge the AFL, the American Football League, and the NFL into the NFL that it is today. And he was the franchise quarterback for the Jets for many years. Number two, this is very tough for me to say. I would have to say Don Maynard, even though I never saw him play, but he's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. He was a tremendous wide receiver. He had great speed. He had a great pair of hands. Then the last two was between Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis. I mean, they are the two greatest defensive players in the history of the franchise. And then I will put an honorable mention for Curtis Martin.
As far as Mount unemployment, do you push back on this?
I'm unemployed, so I have to stay there.
Now, is there an update, though, on the employment?
I still haven't heard from them.
Are you getting concerned?
A little bit.
Have you thought about continuing your quest for employment by still applying for other jobs?
Yes, I have. I was going to do that after I take my walk, after I make this call. And also, about my man. What is so funny, Jake?
Because if you're trying to find a job, I would say your priorities are out of line, right? You should be doing the job employment first, then maybe considering your walk, and then calling into a Jet YouTube show third in that order. It sounds like you're going to do Jet YouTube call 1, which you're doing now, go for a walk, and then job 3. And once again, you have to make finding a job, Charles, your full-time job until you actually get a full-time job. You understand? I don't think you do.
I do. It's got a lot of things on my mind.
So you're calling into a Jet YouTube show?
Yes, I got a lot of things on my mind. You know, I like calling into the show from time to time to talk to people.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did. I enjoy your calls. But this is my job. You understand that?
I understand that. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Um.
Now, why would you go for a
Also,
walk today, by the way? It's 1,000,000 degrees outside.
need some fresh air, baby.
So what have you been doing all day until then? Until this point?
Well, let's see. I made breakfast. Made
Okay.
myself breakfast. Went to my old house, dropped off my dirty laundry, picked up some more Gillette razors and some more garbage bags, and
Okay.
used one of them for a dirty laundry bag. And, played one of my video games for a while, and then, had lunch in my old I had lunch in my old house too, and then go out for a walk. I know it's at least 100 degrees out, but I need fresh air. I can't stay
It's
indoors.
6 o'clock. So all you've done today is essentially drop off dirty laundry, play video games, and eat.
Pretty much, yeah.
You don't see the problem with this if you're trying to find a job?
A lot of things, Jake. There's a lot of things going on in my mind right now.
This isn't helping your case. People think that you don't actually want a job, and there have been people
Well, that's their
defending you.
problem.
Well, I don't know if you actually want a job. That's the thing.
I do want a job.
I don't know if you do.
Goodbye, Jake.
Charles, until proven otherwise, you remain on Mount Unemployment.
When's the next Batman movie? Probably around 2027, 2028. Excuse me.
Unbelievable. What a day for Charles. He dropped off dirty laundry, ate lunch, played video games, and now called into a Jet YouTube show because, quote, he's got a lot of things on his mind. Amazing. A couple of super chats here. 99 Jet. He says, I'm 68 years old. I saw Namath's entire career. I'm with Jake on the top 4 Jets. Maynard over Klecko. No question about it. I just think Don Maynard has to be there. It's not even going to knock Joe Klecko. Joe Klecko would be 5. But someone's got to be 5. How do I not have Darrell Rivas on my top 4? And how do I not have Joe Namath? And then, to me, I got to put Curtis Martin in there. I had to. You could put Klecko in over Martin if you want. You could. I'm not saying you're crazy for that. But I have a hard time not putting Joe Klecko on my Mount Rushmore. Tommy with a super chat here. 9-month Asmaniac super chat. I love Bobby and Charles. I hope the job interviews go well. David in the raffle for 3. He's the first person I've ever seen send a $15 super chat. I don't even know you could do that. David, thank you. Jake, which 4 Jet coaches, head coach or assistant coaches, would be on your Jets coach Mount Rushmore? I mean, how do I put assistant coaches on there, right? I mean, if we're going to do that, Mike Westhoff, I guess, would be on there, right? Would we put Belichick on there? I mean, you might have to if you look at what he did with the Jets defenses from 97, 98, 99. I'm not going to go down the assistant coach path. I mean, the 4 best coaches in Jet history, you have 3 immediately. Weave Eubank, Bill Parcells, Rex Ryan. You need a 4th. Hopefully Aaron Glenn is number 4. Hopefully Aaron Glenn ends up being number 1. He wins a Super Bowl. But I have 3 of the 4 Jet coaches. You want to tell me you want to put Herm on there because he made the playoffs 3 times in 5 years? He's got a compelling argument. He made the playoffs in 01, 02. Every year Chad was healthy, they made the playoffs with Herm. 01, 02. 04. That happened. Chad was hurt in 03. Chad was hurt in 05. Those are the only 2 years they missed the playoffs. If you don't put Herm at 4, I mean, are you putting Joe Walton at 4? You're not putting Adam Gase or Rich Kotite or Robert Saleh or Todd Bowles. I mean, it's kind of hard. I think Herm has a case to be number 4. But 3 of the 4 are pretty easy to this, David. It has to be Weave, Parcells, Rex Ryan, and then you come up with 4. Walt Michaels, Herm Edwards. I think it's probably one of them. It's definitely not Jeff Obrick. Rick Kent. That's funny. Julian is in the raffle for 5. Thank you guys for supporting the show when it's slow right now. If you tuned in late, we're doing a Wayne Corbett signed jersey We'll raffle it off at the end of the show. Julian, he gifted 5. Let me see if I can get the listeners who got the memberships. It's not telling me them. Too far down. If you got one from Julian, you thank him. Thank you, Julian, for your support. Big fella in the raffle for 5. Jake, I won $1 million. Maybe if I play video games and eat will happen. Give these entries to my brother's stack. All right, we will give them the stack, big fella. Appreciate that. And yes, the Charles Gorman plan to get a job consists of what exactly? Well, it consists of video games and eating and doing nothing. That is the plan for Charles Gorman. Okay. StreamYard's a little slow right now. Stay with me. Having some glitches here. Yeti, fun debate. Joe, Mo, and Revis. It's fair. No wrong answers. I hate Revis, but he deserves it. Fun show today as always. Yeti, thank you. So you have Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Mo, and Revis. Who's Mo? Martin, you mean maybe? Mo Lewis, I guess. Mo Lewis is a great Jet. He's on the ring, not on the Mount Rushmore. Black Gypsy, LOL. Why are you calling into my job with no job? I should have dropped that on Charles. Good line, Black Gypsy. Why are you calling into my job with no job? Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike won a Justin Fields jersey on the show on Friday. And thanks to Express Shipping, the jersey has arrived. It is time for a live unveiling of Mike's raffle prize.
About Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike. It might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see it, Mike. Here we go. Moment of truth.
Chelsea messing around here. Yeah, baby.
It's a women's jersey. What the hell?
It's the hot wife.
Hello, Chelsea. Mrs. PBM.
She doesn't like the camera. Here we go, baby. Yeah. Let's
there
go.
It is. What a jersey.
Fresh. Fresh, baby. Fresh.
You're ready to
Let's
go, baby. Justin Fields, future Mount Jets.
I put it on, but I'm eating dinner. I don't want to mess it up.
That's okay. I'm glad it arrived. I give credit to NFL Shop. That was faster than I anticipated.
He's going to be the next quarterback in the Ring of Honor. Let's go.
From your lips to God's ears. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Purple Belt Mike.
You get the fuck out.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, another member of Mount Unemployment is on the line. It is time to get to this man's call. Does he agree or disagree with the list? We find out all together now here on the Jake Asman Show.
Well, you know, I'm getting really freaking pissed. I thought I saw Gary's pretty wife. I need to get some sleep. I'm baby.
Yes, I do agree with that picture. I do agree with that. But
so you have no issue with the ranking of being on the Mount Unemployment?
No, I'm fine with that. It's fine. But it will change Wednesday when I get a job.
Let's think through this. You have a job interview Wednesday. Let's say you get the job. Who do you think should go up on Mount Unemployment if you are employed?
I don't know. Who else doesn't have a job? I don't know. I really don't know. But I did do another job today. I know it's a Spanish restaurant. They serve like Mexican food, you know. But it's called Tito's something. I can't pronounce the second name.
What would you be doing?
Serving people. Like it's like I think it's like a fast food Mexican place. It's called Tito's Tancarica or something like that. I saw that in Indeed today, so I signed up for waiting for if I get a job interview for that. So I've been busy looking for jobs today.
Now, are you sure it would be a Spanish restaurant serving
Mexican Mexican food? I think, well, Tito's, that's Mexican, right?
Wouldn't it be a Mexican restaurant serving Mexican food?
Yeah, it's Mexican, not Spanish. Mexican food, yeah. It's like the high class. It's not like your Subway. It's more up there because when I worked at Holiday Inn, they got food from there, which I wasn't really a good fan of, but you don't have to eat where you work. So
That's right. You don't have to shit where you eat either.
yeah, right. I know, right? Oh God. Oh, don't tell me 2 shits on my show. One more time, he's gone. He's definitely gone. How's my eye look today? Does it look better?
Hold on. Get really close to the camera so we can examine it
All right,
all together.
let me get that up there. How's that
All right.
looking better?
Look into the camera. Get really close.
Looking better. Let me get up to the close.
Yeah, get really in there.
How does that look better?
I don't think it's ever looked better.
Yeah, I think the stuff that he switched it over to, I think it's a eye sensitive an eye thing. So I think it looks a lot better too, and it feels a lot better too. I could see things. So
have you been preparing for the 99 interview?
Well, if you want to try me, you could do it.
Okay. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Jake.
Why is it that you applied for this job?
Because I like cooking, and then like if I don't get that job, I like to be a host to people. I love people. I like to take care of them the best way I could. What's so funny? I'm being honest.
We're off to a good start here. Okay.
So you're laughing though. They know a lot of managers down in 99 know me and Michael anyway.
Okay.
So,
Who doesn't know you in Brattleboro?
Not every. Michael knows a lot of more people in Brattleboro. They say, Michael, won't you be the mayor of Brattleboro? I heard Michael called in today too.
Just a piece of advice. I don't know if you want to start the job interview off when they ask you why you're interested in the position, being like, I like eating, because you're not going to be eating when you're working.
Oh no, I don't. No, I like to cook for people to eat. It's what I like to cook for the people. I'm a people person.
Okay. Well, why don't you say you enjoy working with people? You've been a customer of the restaurant for years, and you think it'd be a great. You think it's a great environment for you to work in.
Yeah, 99 is a very good people.
See?
Yeah, very good.
Play on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Anything else you want to ask me?
Well, here's another question they could ask you. Robert, we see that you've applied for 2 positions with us. Do you have a preference as to which one you want?
Well, I was a line cook before. I would like to try the host if I could.
Why don't you be like, I'm open to both. Which one has potentially more hours available for me to work?
Well, I have to not get over 24 hours. And anyway, it's only part-time.
I don't think either of these jobs are going to pay over 24 hours to you. So just do the one that they have available that gives you the most hours.
They said part-time. Yeah, they said part-time, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it's $18 an hour. So that's
okay. That's good.
Yeah. So they know me and Michael. I think I hope I get them. I know all of them, like all of the managers down there.
Well, don't just rely on that. You got to go in there and you got to kill it.
No, be myself. I got to be myself.
Yeah. But not too much like yourself, because then not.
And
then your shirts are going to be coming off, and I don't think you want to do that during the job.
No, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to do that.
Exactly.
But I don't know who else doesn't have a job. I don't know.
I don't know. Find an Asmaniac that can replace you on Mount Unemployment. All right.
I know. Gator got to get rid of that picture of me when I get a job. Gator.
He'll find someone to put in there, but we need some nominations. Who doesn't have a job that regularly is a part of the show?
I don't know. I thought Cheese Friend had a job. I thought he works at.
Yeah, but then he'll just end his job immediately. You know, he's never actually there that long.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to be there as long as possible.
Okay.
Because I like my job. I like to cook. I like to cook. And I like to be hostess, host. To sit people down, get them their menus and their drinks. I'd like to do that. That's how they do it. You know who took us to 99 when he visited us?
Alan.
Yeah, he was very good to us. Very nice.
It's the least you could do.
Yeah, well, he didn't have to do that.
He probably should. He has no friends without you.
No, he went to meet Charles and Nick Shine.
Yeah. Once again, without me and you, he would have no friends in his life. He owes us the world.
Gary and Aurora.
Yep.
He got plenty of friends. He goes
once again through me and you. If our shows didn't exist, Bob, you would have no friends. The least you could do is pick up the tab at dinner.
Oh, okay. I get you what you're saying now. But he does go to, what's that, temple. So he has friends there too.
Oh.
He does.
His wife's a rabbi. They're not really his friends. They're like her friends. Or they're just nice.
Yeah, well,
she's the rabbi.
His wife is a very nice lady.
I'm sure.
So the Yankees better win tonight. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
How's my call today? Good?
Great call. We covered a lot of ground.
Sorry I didn't call in this morning.
That's all right.
Outside.
You're trying to get a job, unlike Charles, who was eating all day.
No, I can't eat in this one. I drink mostly this water.
Well, make sure you hydrate, all right?
I know. That's what you got to do. Can't eat too much in this weather.
Yes.
Okay, you be good, Jake.
All right,
Thank
farewell.
you for having me on.
You know I love to talk and hate to type. Jake, when is your next show? Alan is a cartoon character. Bobby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Devin gifting not 1, not 2, but 3 channel memberships. He is in the raffle for 3. If you tuned in late, signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Giving that away. End of the show. More calls right now. Barbarossa's next. Hey, Barbarossa.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Cheers. So you can see the jersey, man. Like, Rivas has got to be on that mountain with 4 people, Rob, just so you know. It's got 4 people. But he's got to be on there. Like, as soon as we started talking about this, I brought up the stats. And beyond what you showed, like, remember when Chad Ochocinco said he was going to change his name back if he got shut down by Rivas, and then he did get shut down, and then he didn't change his name? I mean, that's like he just had an absolutely legendary run for a couple of years. So I feel like he's got to be on there. And I personally would just take, I think, Don Maynard off, but that's probably because I didn't see him play. Like, that's just, it's tough to really narrow it down from there. But that would be my list. The second thing I want to say is I'm going to open up some Asmaniac summer school classes. These are going to be both academic and skill building. So we can help our friends along. We can tear down that mountain. We can blow it up, and we can make something better. And just the last thing, this is from last week. Did we ever find out where Beast Breaker went when he was on that plane?
When did he say he was on a plane again? I don't even remember.
Where did he go? It was last week. We talked about it, and he said he got on a plane, but he never said where that plane was going and if it got there. And I've been really dying to know
Beast Breaker is
like,
actually
where did he go?
Cooper?
It could be.
We might have to look into this.
Yeah, I've been really itching to find out where he went and why. That's all.
Well, I'll tell you what. Beast is on the line. I don't know. Beast, are you
Oh,
there?
yeah, all right.
Watching my program.
What are you watching?
He's in the lair. He's in the lair.
Watching the Frugal Gourmet with Jeff Smith.
What's happening in the global studio headquarters? Barbarossa, put some respect on the global studio headquarters.
Watching Frugal Gourmet. I'm watching something on the French kitchen.
Where are you, Beast? We can't see you.
I'm on the le bed. And they say in French, le bed.
Is your shirt on or off?
I have a shirt on. What do I look like? Did I look like I came off the potato chip truck? Come on.
You called in without a shirt earlier today. How am I supposed to know?
Oh, hey, what? Hey, what's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with it?
Hey, put the light on in there. You look like a ghost.
See, amigo. And hello over there, Mr. Barbarossa.
Hey,
I would highly recommend you if you would get a chance to check out the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 80s. Check those guys out. Those are my favorites. When I was a kid.
I'll do that. Can you tell me where that plane went that you were on?
When I was 13, when I went on Japan Airlines, they did a whole thing from Chicago to Buffalo, New York, which I didn't want that. I was like, you know what? What the hell? But it was good. It was a good thing. But the flight was okay.
So you went to Buffalo?
Yeah, it was okay. But I'm not a Buffalo
cool.
person. No. I didn't like it. I was like, what you see is what you get. You know why? Just think of it this way. hey, think of it this way: in 100 years, who's gonna care anyway? By then, we'll be in a
Yeah, that's
grave.
where I went to school.
What?
That's where I went to school. I went to school in Buffalo. So, did you go to Niagara Falls?
Past Niagara Falls.
Okay.
The Three Stooges did a thing called the Niagara Falls, going Niagara Falls.
Maybe if the Jets win the Super Bowl, we can send Allen over the falls in a barrel.
Hey, for $3,000, I would love to see it. But
Jets, Jets.
yeah, that's what he gets, the bird special. And them bird specials only come once in a lifetime. Not all the time. They only come on the special menus. But let's roll along here because it's 5:37 my time, 6:37 your time. And in London right now, it's 11:37 right now.
It's not, though, Beast. It's 6:34.
Oh, 6:34. Okay, so 11:34 in London right now because everyone's doing this right now, sleeping. So, what you see is what you get. But let's roll it up, wrap it up, and
Beast, thank you very much. Barbarossa, well done. Way to move the conversation forward. JoJo gifting 5 channel memberships. She has a chance to win a signed Wayne Corbett jersey at the end of the show.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
JoJo's gifted memberships went to the following 5 people: KDG Adventures, Zoink Nation, Florida Man of Culture, Derek Q, and Jet Up Buttercup. Well done. All right, we still got some absolute legends on the line here. So I'm going to try and get to as many calls as we can. This has been quite the show. You never know what's going to happen around here. So let's continue right now, because joining us on the Gusbuster Hotline is Coach Cho. Big Cho, how we doing?
What's up, Jake?
Cho, I'm well. How are you?
How you doing?
Have you seen your new channel, Edge Mode, Cho?
I knew what?
The chat wanted to make you a channel emoji for channel members to use. When you call in, you'll see it in the chat.
No, I hadn't seen it. Does it look good?
Well, you have 2 options to choose from, and I want to get your thoughts. Do you like this one? Or do you like this one?
I like the second one.
So you like the one that's on the screen right now?
Yeah, with Coach and the whistle.
How about this one?
Yeah, I like that too. Either one. A lot of wrinkles, though.
Would you say this is not an accurate depiction of who you be?
I don't think I have that many wrinkles on my forehead, but I could be mistaken. You still there?
Oh, I'm here, Big Cho. I'm just taking it all in.
I was going to go over my Mount Rushmore.
Please do. Who do you have on your Mount Rushmore? Do you agree with Bobby, Gorman, Cheats, Fan, and Beast?
Oh, for the unemployment?
Yep.
Most definitely.
Okay.
As far as the Jets, Mount Rushmore, I got number 1 is a no-brainer, Joe Willie Namath. Number 2 is Don Maynard, without a doubt. Number 3 is Rivas. And number 4, I'm torn between Martin or Klecko.
Well, are you going to give us who you put number 4?
Well, I was torn between Martin and Klecko, so I'd probably have to go. I'll go Klecko.
Okay, so you're going Klecko over Curtis Martin.
And I like to throw in Coach. Since I'm a coach, I like to throw in Coach up there as a honorable mention. The coach of the Super Bowl III, Weeb
Eubank. But you're only allowed 4, though.
Yeah, I was an honorable mention.
So just the old mention, but not an official Mount Rushmore declared.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
And I was going to tell you, remember how I mentioned that I'm going to try to do a podcast?
Yes, the Big Cho Show.
It actually is that's not a bad name. It's actually going to be called Vintage Sports.
Vintage Sports?
Yeah, like old school.
Vintage Sports? Okay.
Yeah, with Big Cho and my girl Shania.
Who's Shania?
She's my producer / co-host.
What does she do for a living? What is her background in producing?
She just graduated from Pfeiffer College in North Carolina and just got accepted to East Carolina to get her master's in communication.
Okay. And how do you know her?
I know her through a recruit, a guy I'm recruiting. It's his sister.
Now, what if the recruit ultimately doesn't go to the school that you're coaching at?
It doesn't matter.
So there's no way that anyone could accuse you of only doing this show with this person because you're recruiting her brother.
Oh no, not at all.
Is her last name Twain, by the way?
No.
No.
That's the only other Shania I've heard of, though.
Now, when is the first episode? Because I'll tell you what, I might have to do like a watch party of my listeners to tune in.
July 16th.
And how long is each episode?
We haven't decided yet.
So it could be an hour, it could be 30 minutes.
Yeah, somewhere between then, and hopefully, if it, takes off, maybe doing a YouTube show channel, maybe doing some live stuff. So hopefully we can get some of your listeners to come over and listen.
Do you have an idea what the first show is going to be about?
Yeah, probably about the AFL, NFL, just going over the history before the merger in 1970.
So can we call you Professor Cho when you're hosting the podcast?
Professor Cho?
Well, you're teaching history.
That is true, but nah, Big Cho's good.
So the Big Cho Show.
Nah, it's Vintage Sports with Big Cho and Shania.
I don't think it's as catchy as the Big Cho Show. I feel like you're the star. You got to have your name on the marquee.
Big Cho Show.
Like my show's called Jake Asman Show because it's just me. It can't be Jets Talk with Jake Asman. It's the Jake Asman Show. You get me.
But what if you have a co-host like me?
Big Cho Show with Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. Yeah, I mean, that could work.
Now, are you going to wear glasses when you do the podcast?
Probably not.
You look more like a professor.
I could. I do have some glasses. Hold on. Let me grab them.
Yeah, put those on. Let's get a visual.
All right. Give me a sec.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
doing
I'm gonna take you off air for a second, Big Cho. Go ahead.
You doing okay today?
Fantastic, Cho.
There we go.
Let me know when to come back to you. You got the glasses on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're on the air. You look good.
Yup. That's Professor Cho.
You kind of have the glasses like the warden had in Shawshank.
Oh, yeah? All right, I'm going to take them off now.
Okay.
Do you wear glasses?
I do not, no.
What about reading glasses?
No, I the only glasses I wear are sunglasses.
Okay. I noticed when you went to the Yankee game against the Orioles had won the game.
They did.
I checked the score since I knew you were going.
Yeah, I was at the one game they lost.
Yeah, I saw that. Sorry for your loss, big fella.
It's okay. He called in earlier.
Who, big fella?
Yeah.
Oh, I was calling you big fella.
Oh no, I'm only 5'8". I'm definitely not big fella.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you're big in stature, right? And in the heart of the Asmaniacs.
Yes, lots of passion.
There you go. But who were your for the Mount Rushmore?
Joe Namath, Don Maynard, Curtis Martin, and Darrell Rivas.
So we only had one different.
That sounds right.
You had Martin and I had Klecko.
Yep.
Okay. Great minds think alike.
They do say that.
That's cool.
They also say that some people are growers, some people are showers.
I have heard that.
Yep.
Oh, I happened to peek at the people, on the side writing up the chats. And Mike Rubio had put no Riggins. I actually have a Riggins jersey of Jets.
You should wear it next phone call.
Wear the Riggins?
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
All right.
I just got back from Greensboro recruiting. I actually in between watching basketball when we had some downtime, I clicked on your show live and just checked in. Say I was checking in from Greensboro. I didn't get on the show obviously because I wouldn't have been able to hear you. You wouldn't have been able to hear me. But I did check out your show live on Saturday.
Well, I hope we were able to entertain you while you were tuned in.
Oh yeah, I had a little downtime, so I had to get my Jake.
ISU wants to know: did the recruit take a nap during his meeting with you?
Who?
The recruit.
Which recruit? It was a tournament, so you watch several people. It was like a 15-hour day.
You take any good scouting notes?
Oh yeah, quite a bit. And then we also will be able to invite some of the guys to Elite Camp August 3rd. We have an Elite Camp from 9 to 12:30. So they get to play in front of the 6 coaches that we have.
I like it, Big Show. I'm very excited to hear all about it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We've got our second team camp coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, where the high school teams come in. So we're doing that Saturday, Sunday, and then next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we're doing a kids camp. Stay busy. And of course, July is a big recruiting month. You should come recruiting with me. Jake, you there? Jake, did you leave me? Jake, don't leave me hanging, brother. How many people are going to tune into my show July 16th?
You put me on with the big show. I can't even compete, Jake.
Indy Jets, what's happening?
How you doing, big show?
Sorry about your Pacers last night. I was rooting for them.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, we were there.
Yeah, you were there. You know you were done when your point guard got hurt. That was it.
The team still put up a good fight. Good fight. That's all you can ask.
They'll be back next year.
Sure.
So do you live in Indiana?
I did for 50 years. Yeah.
How many?
I'm in 50. I'm in North Carolina now,
Oh, so am I. What part of North Carolina?
outside of Charlotte.
So am I. What part?
I'm in Charlotte, but I'm on the outside. I'm on the south side of Charlotte.
But does your mailing address say Charlotte or just say another suburb?
No, it's Charlotte.
Okay, you know where Kannapolis is?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I live.
Well, you'll have to come hang out with Philly Noodles one someday. He's in Charlotte.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
You
What?
get the f out.
Excuse me.
We'll have to get together on Sunday and watch a game or something. I lost Indy Jet. But that would be cool to hang out with those guys on a Sunday, watch a game. Go to a sports bar or something. I would like that. I still wonder where Jake went. Who wants to talk about some basketball while Jake's not around? East.
Somebody call for a king.
Beast. It's Big Cho. Coach Cho.
I was just reviewing something and I'm a little slow at the moment. It's getting old sucks, my friend. It does suck. How you doing, Nick?
How old are you?
41.
How old?
41 there, fella.
I'm way older than you.
Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, we know that. But unfortunately, my body's seen a lot of things that you would be surprised to see.
Okay. I've been through a lot too, my man.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I understand that very, very well. And no, it's not global unemployment headquarters. It's global studio headquarters. And you wonder why it's global? Because the best stuff comes from all over the world. All you gotta do is take a look around the world. The best come from near, far, and wide. That's all I can tell you. And football season is right around the corner in about another 8, maybe 9 more weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna be opening up the grill soon.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Beast. Are you gonna be at the get together with the Panthers on October 19th?
Let me see what I'm doing first, because number one, I need to get a babysitter for my little boy, because I have to make some decisions first. Because how am I, you gotta remember something. Things are not as easy as it looks these days. And then also the budget. I gotta make some budget cuts too. I'm a very busy man these days. I'm very, very busy, because let's look at it. September, October, those are my busy months. That's where I start getting all my garbage cans ready, and I'm going to be working very, very hard. Because last year, you know what I was doing last year? I was cleaning 6 different houses down the street. I was picking up more garbage and loading up thousands and thousands of pounds of garbage. I'm prepared to do it again this year, and I am not going down without a fight.
There you go.
It's about business, my friends. You want to work? Get off your ass and do it. Don't just
get the f out.
Excuse me.
Well, I definitely like to meet Beast. Jake, you coming back? I'm gonna have to roll here in a minute.
What's up, Char?
What's up? Who am I talking to?
Australian Jets fan.
Oh, hey, what's up?
What did you think of the game yesterday?
Which game?
The NBA Finals, Game 7. You said you wanted to talk hoops, right?
Oh, of course. I wanted Indiana to win.
Me too. It was looking good until obviously um, what happened to Tyrese.
Yeah, I heard he tore his calf, didn't he?
Yeah, Achilles. It was. I was I was pulling an all-nighter watching it actually, and then it was in the first quarter. He hit three threes in like 7 minutes or whatever. Then
Oh,
he
I
went to dribble past the defender and then blew it out.
Oh, I wanted to say hello to the Australian Jet fan. I miss him. I like him. Australian Jet fan, how you
What's up,
doing?
Bobby?
You got to come to my show soon.
Where'd Bobby go?
That was quick.
I like you very
Yeah,
much, Australian.
it's the thing is though, you always go live before Jake. You haven't
Well,
been
I'm
going
going
live.
on after.
You haven't gone on live after for a
Well,
while.
my
So like
I had eye problems. That's why I'm much better now.
normally when Jake's show
Yeah,
finishes, I
that was
wait.
horrible, Jake. You're right. That was awful. Holy crap.
What's up, Bobby?
A lot better than that. Holy crap, Jake, you were right about that. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better with my eye. I got that medicine working. I got a job interview on Wednesday. I'm positive for it. At the 99. Then I got another. I'm waiting for the Tito. It's like a much better class Mexican restaurant than Taco Bell. So it's up there. You serve different kind of much better food, I think, up there. But I like Taco Bell better. There he goes. He's back on a single thing. Okay. Well, I'm leaving now. I just wanted to say hello to my friend.
Appreciate you, Bobby. Jake, you coming back, brother?
You get the fuck out. Joe, great job holding it down while I dealt with some internet connections there. One last call, then we'll get to the raffle. AJF is with us. Hello, AJF.
How's it going? I wanted to say before when you were talking about the with Ted from Tampa, the Asmaniac Mount Rushmore, I wanted to say mine is different from the Final Four. I think Gorman has to be on there, especially today, considering calling into the show was his first priority. Like if that doesn't get you on the Mount Rushmore, I don't know what does. Bonesy obviously has to be there, Lowski, the 2 grand finalists. And then my last spot, an unpopular opinion, but I think it has to be Beast, regardless of how infamous he is. The guy sits on the show. Like I can't remember the last time I've watched a show and Beast hasn't been on multiple times. Point proven. Beast, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? He's pondering. He's really staring into my soul here. This is some crazy stuff.
I don't know who the hell's calling. Oh, my boss. I gotta take care of this.
His boss. So Beast is employed?
I need to take care of this.
We've got a mystery on our hands now.
Yo, talk to me, Chief. What's going on? Not much. How you doing? I see that. Boys, phone call's important. Gotta take care of it. Talk to you later.
He's one of one. He really is.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, I wanted to say I missed the start of the show. Did you see the news that Breece Hall was apparently playing injured or with knee issues all last season?
Yeah, that
Did you
came
see that
out.
report?
That came out when he spoke to the media before the end of minicamp.
I only saw it today. I hadn't heard of it since. But I guess, obviously like it's bad that he was playing hurt, but I think it's hopefully a good sign production wise for what's to come.
I think he's gonna have a bounce back season. I agree.
What did you think of my Asmaniac Mount Rushmore? Yeah,
You
did you
had
think my points were valiant?
you had Bonesy, you had King Lowski, you had Beast. Who was your third?
Gorman.
It's fair. Look, I can't tell you you're wrong. It's your opinion. I'm going to let the voters who voted in Asmaniac Madness, our final four, I'm going to let that represent the Mount Rushmore because I don't know how else to do it.
It's fair enough. I mean, like you also have to look at like I guess like it depends because things have changed since then. Like if Asmaniac Madness was today, who knows what the bracket would look like and who
Yeah.
would end up where.
Well, you know what? They started the playoffs when the Jets were 8-3 with Favre in 2008. Who knows what would have happened?
But isn't that when he tore his bicep?
The point is that all we could do is go by the results that happened.
Fair enough. I guess it's the same deal with the NBA Finals. People will be talking about that for ages.
I appreciate the level of thought you put into this, though, AJF. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now
You keep the fuck out.
Excuse me.
All right. It is raffle time, baby. Wayne Corbett signed jersey. If you win, you got to wait a couple days for the actual jersey to arrive because it's delayed right now via shipping, but I will get it sent out to you as soon as it arrives later this week. I want to thank everyone that gifted a channel membership to enter our signed Corbett raffle. And the only thing left for us to do here is for us to spin the Wheel of Champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
That's right. You see the wheel on your screen right now. Here it is. Music, please. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Good luck to everybody. If you called in, you qualified. Oscar, I did include your $2 or 2 raffle ticket super chat here. Jake, do another show with Tyson or Kevin. I need them to meet Beast or Charles. I've been trying to find a time to go on with Tyson for a while. I actually texted him today because I have a free night, but he never got back to me just yet. So I'll let you know, Oscar, because we've been trying. You guys know I'm a big fan of Let's Talk Jets. They do a great job. Good luck to all. The wheel is being spun right now. And the winner of a signed Wayne Corbett jersey is listener Eli Betts. Eli is on some run, man. Congratulations to Eli. He won a signed Garrett Wilson photo. And then, did he win the Kevin Mawai jersey as well? I think this is like his 3rd raffle win in the last 10 days. 14 days. So congrats to Eli. He deserves it. He was the first person to get in here and gift a 5-spot of memberships. We doubled it, so we had the most entries with 10. Thank you to Eli and everyone who supports the show during these slower times. Eli's in the chat. He goes, let's go, baby. Eli, congratulations. He won a CJ Mosley jersey the other day. That's what it was. Congrats, Eli. That's awesome. A true Jets fan winning that prize, which is awesome, considering we had a Patriots fan that had 3 entries in that raffle. Again, thank you all. Yeti says, Jake, what year is that jersey? I have to look, Yeti, but it is. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't answer that. But Eli will be able to tell you that when he gets it. On that note, thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are back tomorrow. Robbie Sabo will join us at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern. Be ready to roll. And in honor of us discussing the Jets Mount Rushmore, let's play a clip from a Mount Rushmore Jet fan to wrap up today's program. Have a good one, everybody. Join the Patreon. Talk to you guys soon. Go Jets. Nate writes in, who spits on the mics the most during your time at WFAN?
Oh my! What kind of question is that? I won't get into. I'm gonna leave that. I probably did a number of times.
Is that in the book, the Joe B book one day on your radio? And
there'll never be a book. There'll never be a book. Never. They'd have to pay me a shitload of money. They'd have to pay me a minimum 6-figure retainer for me to even consider doing a book, minimum.
It'd be an amazing read, Joe, because your memory is encyclopedic. Like, you could talk about stories growing up in the 60s. Like, the story you told on this show about going to the Jets-Chiefs playoff game in 1969 is like the details you remember from that. It's astonishing.
Yeah. No, I'll never forget that game. That was kind of the beginning of the end. And it's like, 55 years ago now. Are you kidding? Oh, that game was, man, I'll tell you. I told you the story. I'm begging my mother, this guy in my class, because the game was blacked out. You couldn't see it in New York, right? This is the days of the blackout. What a joke that was, okay? So I'm begging my mother, I got to see this game. And my team's in the playoffs. I got to see it, right? It was a Saturday afternoon game, too. And my mother came through. There was a guy in my class. I was a junior in high school, and he was selling his tickets. And my mother came. I said, "Look, I don't have to have anything else for Christmas. This is what I want." Bought the tickets. I think they were about $20 a piece. Could you imagine that? Had seats down in the end zone below. It was brutally cold. Let me tell you, it was brutal, windy, cold, and Namath had a terrible game. 14 for 40 that day. He threw 3 interceptions. They had a first. They were down 6-3. They had a first and goal on the 1-yard line, and they couldn't put it in. They wound up kicking a field goal, right? And this Chief team, by the way, was one of the great defensive teams of all time. They had 6 Hall of Famers on the defense. And I'll never forget watching the biggest play of the game after they stop us on the goal line. Len Dawson hits the great Otis Taylor, who should be in the Hall of Fame, for about a 50-yard pass right down the middle. And then 2 plays later, I believe it was Gloucester Richardson catches what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown pass. We're down 13-6. We're getting the ball back late in the game, about a minute something to go. We're getting a good field position as they punt to us. And we had this guy, Mike Battle, who had a big punt return for a touchdown in that exhibition game against the Giants. When we played the Giants after we won the Super Bowl and we beat them, it was like a regular season game. We had to win for a preseason game. Killed them 37-14. Battle had an interception return and a touchdown for a touchdown in that game. He fumbles this punt, and Kansas City recovers it, and the game was over. And I'll never forget, man. You talk about being bummed out. But little did I know, this was only the beginning of me being bummed out. Who knew? Like, this was like a good thing. We actually lost the divisional playoff game. What? Come on. So
and then what? You got on the subway and then
got in the
tell
subway,
that part.
and, right? And I never forget, some guy was drunk, and he was on the subway next to us, and he goes, he doesn't remember anything about the game, and he says, "Did we win?" And the guy says, "You don't want to know." I remember the guy was like sober that was with him, like, "You don't want to know." I'll never forget that.
That's why you could write a book, Joe. These stories are it's from 1969. You told it like it happened 2 days ago.
Oh man, I'll never forget that. And then let me tell you this story too. On the same day, I get home that night. It's a Saturday, and I got a phone call at home. Remember, I'm a junior in high school, so my testosterone level is through the roof, and I'm all like, I'm all like bummed out. The Jets just. I get a phone call from this girl who wanted to go out with me, who I wanted no part of. And I remember that night. And I had to be like nice about it. I mean, I didn't want to see this girl. And I didn't, by the way. I just want you to know. So I made a few mistakes like that. Did I ever tell you while we're rolling here, we're telling the Beningo's life story here? Almost time. I've been on here for an hour. I got to go to ShopRite in a minute and shopping. But let me just tell you this. So I was a freshman in college, right? And I used to go to this place called the Marshmallow up here in New City, New York, to go. I can still dance. I still, as you know, I still got.
You still got it. Yeah.
I still got Travolta-esque moves. So anyway, we used to go dancing every Friday and Saturday night. This is in the summer after I was home from college. And this girl, we met her at this place at the Marshmallow. Nice girl, Italian girl, nice, not bad, but not great look. She wasn't great. I really didn't want to, do anything with her. And she has tickets for me to see the Rolling Stones at the Garden. Wait a minute. And this is the heyday. Forget the Rolling Stones now. Everybody's 1,000 years old. Keith and Mick, I don't know how they're still alive. But anyway, this is the heyday. This is like 1972, right? Wow. The Stones are at the height of their freaking power, And this girl invites me to go to, she got tickets for the Stones. She wants me to go to the Stone concert with her. And you talk about dumb decisions. I said I didn't go because I wasn't crazy about this girl. And as I look back, 50 plus years ago, whatever the hell it was, it's one of the dumbest decisions I ever made, that I didn't go to that concert and that I didn't probably have sex with her too. I probably should have done that too. So it was kind of like a double whammy, But anyway, that was, what can I say?
1972, the
Oh,
Rolling
my
Stones.
God. I'll never forget that.
That's a legendary concert. I mean, you'd be
wow. Bro, let me tell you, I so regret, and I've never seen them, right? And I so regret not going to that concert. Oh my God.